guys know. What is going on, people of the sports community? This is Undercovers Cast Live with the co-hosts Ben and Paul. I'm Connor. We are in for a fun show tonight because what we're about to do, each of us have our selected teams, and we are going to do a live round one mock draft. Who is going to do something incredibly stupid? Who is going to trade their picks for a haul? Who is going to trade for Justin Jefferson? Because somebody is. Not the team I'm wearing, I hope, but anyway. This is going to be a very fun and exciting mock draft. We've got it on PFF right now, so whoever wants to go ahead and pull that up can go ahead and pull that up. And we are about to have some fun because
Facts.
with me, there is always a guarantee of chaos. All right, whose phone is ringing? Jesus,
I
man.
was trying to do something, but there was an ad.
Of course, there's always an ad.
All right.
Oh, does anybody have any live draft music whenever they make the pick? You know that little.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah,
This one? See, I was
Yes.
doing that, but I
that
got
one.
mad.
Yes.
right.
Of course, you got an ad. All right, perfect.
All right.
All right, who's going first? It should
Me.
be you,
So,
Ben.
yeah, I'm on the board. I'm
right, you're on-
Chicago, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of drama with this pick. But I worked this out early. Tough decision, I know. Oh, shoot. I clicked it up by mistake. All right, let's go back.
Ben.
All right, there we go.
All right.
Well,
Start
I
us
forgot
up.
to start. There we go. Okay. So with the first pick, I'm gonna pick Caleb Williams to the Bears. I know that was a very
Man.
tough choice.
What a
but,
controversial pick.
I mean, they traded Justin Fields, so they need a quarterback, which puts Paul, are you number 2?
That
that's
would be
Connor.
me. That would be
Connor's
me.
number 2. So
Yeah,
Connor,
I am the Commanders. I am the one with the question marks because they have had dinners with JJ McCarthy. They have had many a quarterback in for a visit. Play the draft music because the Commanders are on the clock.
all right, with this.
You hear all the boos for Goodell. With the
Yep.
second pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders select Drake May, quarterback, North Carolina.
All right, so second quarterback off the board,
Easy
which
choice.
leaves Paul with the New England Patriots. And I know there's been maybe a little bit of rumblings about the Patriots potentially moving down and getting a haul. And as present GM of the Pats right now, what are you thinking, Paul, for this pick? Are you going to stay here? Or are you going to potentially move down?
We're staying.
They're staying. All
stay.
right.
What?
The Belichick era is officially over. The stupid, strange picks at offensive line in the first round isn't going to happen anymore.
The
We're
irony
gonna take
behind
quarterback.
the irony behind what you just said, though.
All right, so we got to start it up. With the third pick, the Patriots select
Jaden Daniels, LSU. Just
Oh man,
you got to
Oh,
start
man.
the rebuild somewhere, and Jaden Daniels is the guy, the quarterback of the future, experienced 5-year quarterback, and brings a lot of talent to the table.
Gonna
So
get absolutely dusted by Matt Milano in 2 games.
So quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3. Kind of like, what was it, 2021, I believe, with that
Very
amazing
similar.
quarterback class with Lawrence, Wilson, and Trey Lance, of course. But right now, I'm selecting for the Cardinals, and the Cardinals could select Marvin Harrison, but I actually have worked out a trade here, so let's cue up the music. All right. So the Cardinals have agreed to make a trade.
Yeah, first you got to select the team there, Ben. Come on now.
I know.
Of course they would. The likelihood that they actually make the trade in real life, though, to trade down, I could see it. I really could, because all they're doing is just getting a lot of picks for the future.
All right, that's easier to see now. I cannot see it. It was so small. All right. So we're going to pick 11, and using the Jimmy Johnson draft chart, we have charted out Minnesota is sending pick 11 and 23, as well as pick 29, and they're receiving pick 4 and pick 66. So that's pretty similar in value. I think the Arizona picks are about like 1260, and the Minnesota picks are like 1253. So they're pretty close. So Arizona is going to get some more picks, and Minnesota is going to move up, and they're going to still end up with a high 3rd round pick. So Minnesota is now on the clock.
All right. And that would be me. All right. The Arizona Cardinals have traded with the Minnesota Vikings, or however Goodell says it. I don't really know how he says that.
Yep.
With the 4th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select J.J. McCarthy, quarterback, Michigan. They need their quarterback of the future, because are you really going to let Sam Darnold throw passes to Justin Jefferson a whole year? You're going to waste it. You're going to waste a year of his prime? I don't think so. You got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
So we're up to 4. All right. And then at number 5 we're right back to me. Okay.
All right. And
all right.
Jim Harbaugh's first pick in LA.
Yeah. And I have a feeling y'all are about to be a little shocked by this one. Cue the music. With the 5th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Brock Bowers, tight end, Georgia.
Wow.
That is a little bit of a shocker. Before any wide receiver goes a tight end, but I mean, if you think about it, he was the best player on the best team in college football 2 out of the last 3 years. So, I mean, Jim Harbaugh loves his tight ends. If you actually look at statistically, Jim Harbaugh's offense targets tight ends more than anyone else in the history of college and NFL.
You ever wonder why they always say Joe Flacco's favorite pass catching targets were tight ends back when he was Ravens quarterback? That's why.
Well, that's John Harbaugh, but
John,
so close.
yeah. But either way, they have very similar coaching styles, because
but
obviously.
Think of, Vernon Davis, great pass catching tight end, all the good tight ends he's had at Michigan as well. So, I mean, it makes sense. That's a kind of a head shaking pick, but that leaves Marvin Harrison available at number 6. And I did see rumors recently from Giants reporters that there are scenarios where they don't need to trade up for Marvin Harrison. And this scenario right here, they don't have to, with 4 quarterbacks going off the board, the Chargers electing to go with the elite playmaking tight end. So, Paul, I think it's Paul, your pick, right?
It is. Yep.
All right.
This makes the decision at number 6 way too easy, just because the way the board has just fallen, it just falls into the perfect hands.
You're welcome.
So, if you want to cue the music, with the 6th overall pick in the NFL draft, the New York Giants select Marvin Harrison Jr.,
Oh my
Ohio State
God.
University. This was the simple pick, the wide
Is it?
receiver of the future.
Is it?
Questions at quarterback,
It's
with
not just questions at
Daniel
quarterback.
Jones.
They have questions
But there's
everywhere.
but with 4 quarterbacks taken, I mean, Bo Nix
Here's
isn't there. I mean, you
yeah,
don't wanna take Bo Nix
here's
that early.
yeah,
So,
no.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
I see your point, and I will also uh give you this thought as well, Paul. They have a serious hole on the offensive line. You
True.
could have taken Joe Alt right there and been just as justified. You could have probably taken well, no, you don't really. That's just it. You could take either a quarterback, a wide receiver, or O-line right here. Like the
Mhm.
Giants have so many options. You could even trade down to stockpile picks because if you're dead set on a quarterback, Bo Nix is going to be there somewhere if you trade down. So there's plenty of options for the Giants, and I feel like they have the most flexibility at 6. All right. The Tennessee Titans are on the clock. Ben, this is all you.
All
Please
right.
do something stupid.
Wow. So that's almost so while you guys were going over those picks, I've actually cooked up another trade. So
Oh my God, he's
Arizona being, they made that first trade, but with Malik Neighbors still available, they're going to say, "Hey, we got some picks to send you, Tennessee." And
wait.
yes, I know,
Who's
yes,
trading?
Arizona's moving back up.
What?
So we're sending 11 and 27 for 7 and 38.
11 and 27.
Yeah, and Arizona still has picked 23 after this and
Oh
35.
my.
So
All right, who
this
is
is
the GM?
I've looked at the trade value, and it actually does slightly favor Tennessee. So
Oh
but
my God,
but it's
no
almost dead
way.
even. I calculated it. But yes,
Just
That's
just
incredible.
imagine
Arizona
Arizona
Offer
trading
this
down
trade.
and trading right back up.
Arizona's GM. I don't know if you saw that video about the draft last year, but that guy loves moving around. And I think he's
Who
going to
is
do it
their
multiple
GM
times with all
anyway?
the picks he has. Monty Ossenfort, I think.
Of course. Of course. Yeah. All right. That makes perfect sense.
So Arizona, they could have got Marvin Harrison, but instead they basically picked up another first round pick and still were able to get Malik Neighbors.
What?
So with the 7th pick, the Cardinals add a game-breaking weapon to their offense, which leaves the Falcons
My God.
on the clock. And who's the Falcons?
Would be me. That
All
would be
right.
me.
So
All righty.
does Atlanta stay and make this pick?
Yes.
Ta-ta-ta-ta.
All right.
This is an easy one.
With
With
the 8th
the
pick,
8th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select. Where is he? Where is he? Scroll down. Ben, scroll down. Okay, there he is. Dallas Turner, edge rusher, Alabama. That was an easy
so
one. Every time I've ever seen any Atlanta Falcons mock, it's Dallas Turner. Like 100% steal of a deal right here, for sure. All right, and now the Chicago Bears are on the clock. Oh, by the way, if y'all saw Lauren's comment, it's like she read my mind. She's here for me to do
Perfect.
something stupid, though, so just wait. It's not this pick.
No, it's coming.
well, it's
I'll do
actually
it later.
Paul's up, right?
Yes,
Yep. With the
the second
Chicago
Bears pick.
2nd pick.
All right.
Rome's
Alright,
still
so
there.
this
B's
is
got to make the call. Yeah, for real. Who's Ben? You're the Bills. Make the call.
Yeah, I was
Make the
actually
call right
I
now.
was
Right
actually
now.
about to make that call. So
Make it.
let's
Make
see.
it.
At
You
number
got one
9 with
shot to make it.
Rome still available, I'm thinking. Let's see. What does Chicago have to trade? They have 9 and 75.
Here's what you do right here, Ben. I've been doing this for a couple of days now. 975, and it should be a 6th round pick.
They don't have a 6. That's all
Or
they
hang
got.
on.
They literally have 4 picks.
Yeah,
So
no, you want 9 and you want to grab 75. Hang on. Let me find it in the mock I did. Okay, so 975 and the 6th rounder for 28, 60, 163, and then a 2025 first rounder.
wait, so what was it? 28, 60, 128, and a 2020.
28, 60, 163, not 128.
163.
163, and then the first round pick in 2025
And I'm getting
for
these 3 picks from the Bears.
975 for no. You're getting 975 and a 2025 6th rounder.
Okay, so
And then
2025 6.
28, yeah, 28, 60, and then the Bears get 28, 60, 163, and then a 2025 first round pick.
Let me see. So
That's what I'm saying though.
all right. So Paul, you're the Bears.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let me. I'm just gonna try to calculate the offer. Let me see.
If the Bills
A lot
somehow
of
manage to trade,
calculations and move right here. This is a very calculated move by the Buffalo Bills.
this is a move I've been making on multiple mock drafts because there's a secondary move after this, but it's in later rounds. So it's not in the it's not in round
So
1. So you're going
I
up
think
to
honestly,
5.
looking at it, so what is it? 975, a 2025
160,
6 for 28, 60, 163, and a
160.
2021 first.
Mhm. You take this and you
All
get
right.
Romo Dunze. Bang. How likely do y'all personally think it is that the Bills make the move up to get Odunze? I hope he does.
All right. So Paul, as the
Like
Bears
I
pick
beg. I beg.
for pick 9, do you agree to this trade? Do you think it's fair?
Okay, so the
want anything
mindset
more?
here is trying to be Bears minded and trying to block out the Bills bias here
Oh, come
because
on.
I think this trade happens, but
Mhm.
do the Bears really want to give?
So they
Do the
move back
Bears really want to
19
accept an
spots.
offer?
They move back 19 spots in the first round to get a 2025 first. They move up 15 spots in the second round, or I
I
think
think
they
it's a
move up
very
from the third to the second. So the Bears pick up a second rounder. They gave up their
yes.
third, and then they pick up. I think that's what, a 5th rounder, 163.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So and then they pick up
Think
a another 5th rounder. I mean, to be honest, I don't even mind giving up pick 144, which
Ooh.
was the pick they originally traded for Ryan Bates. Because if you think about it, I would have traded Ryan Bates in a package for Odunze. So that's just basically Ryan Bates and the 2021st for or the 2020 5th first. So I would probably still do that as the
yeah.
Bills. Let's see.
As
So
as
that trade was
Bears GM,
accepted.
That trade has always been accepted every time I've done it. So
exactly.
Perfect.
puts the Bills on the clock at number
All
9.
right.
Cue the music
So
because I have a feeling I know what this is.
Joe, oh no, I'm kidding. So with the
I
ninth
would
pick,
jump.
the
I would like.
Bills. So the 9th pick, the Bills take Rome Odunze.
Oh man, and then the entire city of Buffalo just lights up. Like every Bills fan everywhere just lights up. All right, the New York
It's a
Jets are on
very
the clock.
sensible trade for Brandon Bean because he has to be aggressive at some point,
Yeah,
and to make
better to
that
be.
deal
Mhm.
worth for the Bears and worth for his team is a very good trade
Hold
by the
on,
Buffalo
hold on,
Bills.
hold on. I got some breaking news. Of course, we all knew it was happening, but it's now officially official. The Indiana Fever have just now drafted Caitlin Clark #1 overall in the
Wow.
WNBA draft. Right now, it is now official.
All right. So that now puts me on the clock again because I'm the Jets. And with all
Yep.
these weapons going, I'm actually going to be smart and try to make sure Aaron Rodgers can make it through the season alive. And I'm going to take Joe Alt at number
Oh my
10.
man. I would if Joe Alt really falls that far, that's going to be awful. Like genuinely awful.
Well, I mean, that's the way the board is shaking up. So
Yep.
pick number 11. Oh, that's going to be me again because I'm the Titans.
Oh, for real. I don't pick again till 14.
So let's see. No, aren't you Denver too?
No,
No,
I'm Denver.
Oh,
that's
that's
Paul.
Paul. Okay,
Yeah, I
you're
don't
right.
pick
You're
again
right. All
until
right.
14.
So Tennessee, I mean, they just traded for Snead. I mean, now they could pair him with someone like Quinyon Mitchell. I mean, Latu, I still don't love Latu high because of the medical concerns. I mean, maybe Terrion Arnold, Jared Verse. I mean, they don't really have a premier edge rusher, but I feel like their coach is gonna want to solidify the O line. You know, Callahan.
Hmm.
So I think that's how you really build around a young quarterback is build in the trenches. So I'm actually gonna go JC Latham here for
Ooh,
Tennessee at pick 11. I almost took Fuanga, but I opted to go with Latham.
interesting. I've seen him go every which aware on the board. All right. We
So
are up to
this
the
puts
Denver
the
Broncos.
this
Paul.
puts the Denver Broncos in a very odd spot
For
Hmm.
sure.
because JJ McCarthy's gone. Brock Bowers is also gone.
You're welcome.
So it puts the Denver Broncos in a situation where they could reach for Bo Nix at this spot or even Michael Penix Jr. Or they could trade down and get that quarterback later in the draft instead of
Mhm.
picking the quarterback now. It's a very interesting predicament right now because
They have a
in
lot
my
more holes than just the
pre-show
quarterback.
studying, I wasn't expecting JJ McCarthy and Brock Bowers to come off the board at the same time
You're
Right.
welcome.
early enough. So I'm sitting here thinking now, what do the Broncos need? I honestly don't know any other needs they'll need, but there's
Quarterback.
a wide receiver still on the board. I mean,
They have
Malik
a
Neighbors. I mean,
glaring need at cornerback. If you
they
want to
do.
have they have a really big need. So if they don't get a quarterback here, they could easily go cornerback and nobody would fault them at all. They'll wind up with a quarterback somewhere in the later rounds.
This gives me the idea of something. We're going to go cornerback now.
Cue the
Ooh,
music.
quarterback.
With this music. Let's see.
There we go.
The Denver Broncos select Cooper DeJean, Iowa.
Yep. Yep.
All right.
Not,
That
not the only
puts
Iowa player that's been
the
drafted tonight.
Raiders up, and
Ugh.
I mean the Raiders could go a couple different ways. Um, I I feel like Verse would be a nightmare opposite Crosby, but they invested a pretty high pick last year in Tyree Wilson. And I actually think that defense was pretty dang good last year. Like you
Mhm.
remember that the game of the year, what was it, 3-0 against
Oh,
Minnesota?
Oh man, wasn't that
in a
week
dome of all
last week's year?
places.
Game.
It was one
What
of
a
the last
stupid
games
game.
of the season, and then the next week they hung up 63 points on the Chargers and got Brandon Staley fired.
What a
But
weird team.
yeah, I mean, I feel like the Raiders. I mean, maybe they could maybe use some O-line help a little. They do need to replace Josh Jacobs, even though they have Zeus, and I mean they drafted Michael Mayer last year, and they still obviously have some pretty good wide receivers, right? So, I mean, they're still missing a quarterback, and this might be a reach, but
Oh, he's gonna
cue
do
the
it.
music. I'm taking Michael Penix here because I
Oh
still think
my
he's a
god.
very good quarterback. I mean, I do. I mean, I think if he has the right
Mhm.
weapons around him, and I mean, put him in a dome, you know, throw it up to Devontae and Jacoby Myers. They got a good defense. I just feel like if you're the Raiders, you got to make some type of move at quarterback because otherwise,
Mhm.
it's Aiden O'Connell and I mean, who's their backup?
Hold
I know
on.
didn't Garoppolo go to the Rams?
Yes, he did.
Mhm.
So I mean, the Raiders like
It's Aiden O'Connell and somebody else.
they kind of have nothing in the quarterback room right now. I mean, I know they signed
Yep.
someone.
Gardner
Gardner
Minshew,
Minshew. Yep, it just came to
Gardner
me.
Minshew.
Yeah, I
Aiden
mean,
O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, and Anthony Brown. That's your quarterback room right now. So you have to do something. And I think you
yeah,
did the something right here. But
yeah.
Michael Penix over Bo Nix, that's the question that I think draft analysts will be talking about.
I would still take Penix over Knicks, even given the injury concerns. I mean, he's only 1 year older. He's got a much better arm, and I feel like in the NFL, teams might start to give Bo Nix the Tua treatment, and
Oh
just say,
God.
"Hey, beat us downfield or throw it outside the numbers to win a game," right? And if you
Mhm.
can't, you know, threaten teams downfield or consistently pass it to the outside the numbers, like I feel like you will always be a semi-limited quarterback, and I feel like that's one of Bo Nix's biggest flaws, even though he kind of does remind me of Tua in a way. That's not a negative against Knicks. It's just like, the timing, everything, running an offense, getting it to receivers, right in stride. Like, I mean, he's not a bad player. It's just, to me, I feel like he's too limited to be, a franchise quarterback. And I wouldn't feel comfortable taking him so high. I mean, maybe high second round, and you could see if you could maybe mold him into something,
Ooh,
but
all
Mhm.
right.
I definitely would take
Interesting.
Penix over Knicks.
Okay. Well, we can have a lot more fun debating that one on Wednesday for a special of Connor's takes. But for right now, it's my turn. Wait, hang on. It's my turn. I gotta do it like Skip Bayless. All right.
All right.
Pick 14. I am the New Orleans Saints. They need a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, there are a lot of questions on this board right now. Let's see.
I mean,
Quinion
I
Mitchell,
mean,
Leite Lash.
tackle, wide receiver, D line are their three biggest needs.
Exactly. You know what? It's time for a world shocker. Cue the music. With the 14th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select whatever his name is, Fashanu, offensive tackle, Penn State. I
That was
butchered that so
very
bad.
impressive. Olu Fashanu. There we
That
go.
guy.
That's a
all
great
right.
pick because he was formerly a top 10 prospect. You see Latham go ahead of him. So that leaves Paul with the Colts. All right,
Yep.
Paul. What's the pick here?
So again, when I was going through the idea of where could this one player would be, I was expecting Brock Bowers again to drop, and with
Ah,
Yeah.
uh
Counter said
with
nope.
uh
I love that I screwed this
with
up for you so much.
Connor's bright idea to be the Chargers GM to take him in the where he took him, it brings me to option B. I brought a backup plan just in case.
I think I
And
know who you're gonna take,
it's not a bad idea to
and I think
uh
this is who a lot of Bills fans also probably want, right?
I
If
just
I'm
realized
close.
that there's another receiver on the board.
Yeah, right. That's
I
what
just
I thought.
total
That's what
I
the pick was gonna be. I
oh
I
wow.
was thinking that,
How did that slip my mind?
right?
That just completely slipped my mind. Um,
Unbelievable.
right? Neighbors is still on the board, right?
No, no, no,
Right?
no.
No.
Neighbors is
Oh,
gone. Neighbors
yeah.
is
Oh, okay.
gone. Brian Thomas
Okay.
is still available though.
He is, but
But
I'm
if
not
you're a
going that
Phil's
way.
fan, you don't have to
Oh,
worry because you just took Romo Dunze in a trade up.
right.
So you're not sweating it. I
Worried
mean,
about wide
you know,
receiver. I think this is a need. I've been looking at Colts mock drafts most today before the show, and one current trend, it's on the defensive side of the football. It's
Okay.
corner.
Corner.
It's it's corner.
Are you
And
gonna take?
it's
Um.
always a good idea to add in the DB
Okay.
room, kind of the same
mhm,
thing here.
I mean, their division definitely doesn't have, a deficiency at the receiver position, right? With Diggs
Mhm,
and Ridley, going there. I guess Ridley was already there, but he goes over to Tennessee to join D Hop.
mhm.
Um, and then Diggs is joining Collins and Dell. I mean, Jacksonville, I don't think they don't have to worry about as much, even though I mean they still torched Indy last year twice.
Mhm.
don't worry. I got something cooking. I happen to be Jacksonville, so I'm cooking. I'm gonna be cooking.
Alright,
No, I think I know what
me
you're gonna
cue the
take for
music.
Jacksonville.
Are you sure? We'll find out.
I mean, if I had to guess,
Don't say it.
The Indianapolis Colts have selected Terran Arnold, cornerback, Alabama.
Oh,
okay,
He's a
Terry and
he's a
Arnold,
guy
interesting. I thought you would maybe go for Mitchell, but I
same,
mean,
same.
I don't think that's a bad selection.
It isn't.
Arnold is a I was reading on him earlier today. He's a really good guy that he can play the slot and he can also play outside. But his natural ball skills and his quick burst is allows him to stay with the receiver throughout the
So,
entirety of the route.
All right. Good pick.
so I'm Seattle now, and I think if the board falls them this way, their GM's going to be doing backflips to the podium to select this guy with the 16th pick in the NFL draft. The Seattle Seahawks select Jared Verse.
My guy. Oh
Yep,
man, I'd be so happy for Jared Verse if he went to Seattle. Up and
and
coming team.
he doesn't
Oh
have to go
man,
to Miami. So that
I would
leaves
love that for Verse.
Connor again. And how did you rig this thing to end up with Jacksonville, Mr. Duval?
No, but you know what's even
It just
funnier is
ended that way.
I have two of the three Florida teams. The only one
You
that's
do.
Miami, and that's kind of sad. I kind of wish I had all three. But
Hey, you get the better of the
anyway,
Florida teams, am I right?
exactly. But anyway, so there are a lot of needs that Jacksonville has. Obviously, they have addressed a few of them in free agency. Obviously, they signed Gabe Davis, and
Mhm,
they still have, and they signed Mitch Morse, but they still have quite a few needs.
mhm.
But right here, right now, cue the music.
Oh,
With the 17th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver, LSU.
be honest with you, this is if the Bills don't trade up for Roman Dunze, Malik Neighbors, any of those top 3 receivers, this is the area where the Bills would want to
Mhm.
trade up to. It's the
Exactly.
Jacksonville, Seattle, New Orleans area,
Yeah.
and rightfully so, Brian Thomas Jr. is selected in the right spot where I think he's gonna end up.
I just straight up went with him at 17 because they have to replace Calvin Ridley, and Gabe Davis is not going to do that. Now you have a
Well,
guy
did
that
you
can.
see that report? I think was it Jordan Schultz who was on Colin Cowherd's show last week and said that the Jags actually were still offering the same money as Tennessee, and he chose Tennessee.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were in on him till the end. He just opted to go to Nashville instead. So I mean, it's very apparent that the that the Jags are in desperate need, of adding another weapon in the
Yep.
mix. So that puts Paul right on the board for
hmm
Cincinnati. And I think if you're Cincinnati, the board's fallen pretty well to you,
It
as far as
has.
what your needs are.
It
Besides
has.
Bowers, of course, but that I think was
Right.
always kind of a pipe dream for them.
Exactly. This board fell perfectly in Cincinnati's favor right now. I mean, they have a need at defensive tackle
Yep.
or edge in that area. They also have a need at offensive line, which there's
Right,
so
because
many
you got
offensive linemen still
Talise
available.
Fuanga, Troy
hmm
Fatanu,
They've got a lot of spots.
Amarius Mims. You got Jashawn Newton, Jackson Powers Johnson, Barton. Like, yeah, you have some options here.
Hmm. Protect Joe Burrow at all costs because you saw what happened when he got injured. I love the music.
The Bengals select offensive lineman Talise Fuga,
Fuanga,
Oregon State.
kind of
Whatever it
hard to
is.
pronounce.
Yeah,
So
there's so many
this
hard to
puts
pronounce
the
names.
Rams up, and the Rams, I'm not going to say they really cooked. I mean, maybe low key. I mean, they added Trey White, right? Was it
Yeah.
Darius Williams they brought in from Jacksonville,
Mhm.
Cameron Curl. They
Yep.
signed Kevin Dotson, and then I think it was Jonah Jackson they signed in free agency.
Yeah.
So I mean, they kind of patched up a couple of holes, and I think last year, when Cooper Kupp came back and towards the end of the season after a very solid rookie class from a season ago. I mean, they got some good players for not having a first round pick,
Mhm.
between, Byron Young, of course, Puka Nakua was the offensive rookie of the year, and even Colby Turner at 9 sacks. So, I mean, that's good production. And then Kyron Williams came out of nowhere and is a stud. I mean, Stafford, I think, still looks like a top 5 quarterback at times. And to me, I think he's like right outside there, but like he was slinging it in that playoff game in Detroit. But with the loss of Aaron Donald, I think they're gonna want to replace that. So cue the music, Paul. So with the 19th pick, the Los Angeles Rams are gonna select Jashawn Newton,
Johnny
defensive
Newton.
lineman. Yep.
All
You
right.
definitely rigged this, Connor, because you ended up
Okay.
with the Yinzers as well.
I did not rig this. Okay. If I rigged this, I would have ended up with Buffalo and I would have already made that pick that you did. All right. Anyway, so, all right, here we are. Pick 20. Pick 20. Pittsburgh Steelers are on the clock. They have another wide range of needs, but the majority of their needs are mostly offensive line needs. But they
Mhm.
also have a need at wide receiver because they traded away Deontay Johnson because the Stiller way ran him out of town. And what I bet they'll do, because someone always does it on draft night, there will be a special guest making the pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers. In this case, probably. Who knows?
Whoa, are
Tomlin
you
makes.
forgetting about Van Jefferson?
Oh yeah, that's right. They did get Van Jefferson, didn't they?
Yep.
You know what though? I am not in the business of caring that they did that. Cue the music. With the 20th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Graham Barton, center from Duke.
Oh, over JPJ.
I thought about JPJ, but this fits very well.
So
He
now you
he can
allow
play multiple.
JPJ to fall to Miami, or
He
they
can
could take
play.
Byron Murphy or Laitu Latu,
Yeah, please take Latu. Please take the guy with the neck surgery.
right? The fused neck to go with the guy with the fused Achilles. Like
Yep.
perfect
Yep.
combination. So
Ain't it?
Paul, you're up for the Miami Fraud Fins, right?
Yeah,
The
Miami
Dolphins.
Dolphins. This if you're the Miami Dolphins, I mean, their Twitterverse is still saying that they should add another wide receiver in the first round. Like, why? That makes no
Haha,
sense for them to go wide receiver first round when they have needs. As
not
said,
first
like
round.
there's
Mhm.
Byron Murphy, there's Latu still on the board,
Yep.
but with the previous pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers took Barton, which leads to another Dolphins need, which is center.
Mhm.
So, as
They
a
did take a
Dolphins
center
fan,
in free agency, though. Don't forget that. But they do need to get
they
younger
did.
at the position. You aren't replacing Connor Williams like this.
Right.
With the 21st pick, the Miami Dolphins select Jackson Power Johnson,
You're
Yeah, I knew you
welcome.
were
center,
gonna do that. Darn
Oregon.
it. Ah,
You're
shoot.
welcome.
JPJ
JPJ
falls.
to Miami. This is probably going to be their pick in real life, too. I would not doubt it. All right. Who is
Latu and Byron Murphy are
Philadelphia?
falling to the area where I expect them to go. I mean, so this is
So
turning out
All
pretty
right,
good.
Ben, you're up.
yes,
Philadelphia time.
Philadelphia is up, and they have a desperate need to get someone opposite Darius Slay, get a little younger. I know they have Isaiah Rogers, but I still think that's the move here. And with Quinyon Mitchell falling, cue the music with the 22nd pick. Yep. And that leads to the Cardinals again because they traded with Minnesota, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Cardinals just took Malik Neighbors earlier. They did sign was it Jonah Williams, I believe, from Cincinnati. So
Yeah.
I would say their O line. I mean, yes, it could be need improvements, but they got a lot of picks, and this is a very, very deep, uh, you know, um, offensive line class. So for Arizona, because if you look at all their picks, they got
My
35,
God.
38, 71, 90, and mind you, they acquired Malik Neighbors earlier. So they're in a pretty good shape here. So cue the music. Arizona is going to take Nate Wiggins.
Oh,
Yep,
okay.
get in an elite zone corner with speed. He ran like a 4.3, or no, I think he ran in the 4.2s at the combine. Like he was crazy fast. So I believe Paul, you're Dallas, right?
Yes,
Yep.
he is.
So Paul is
Yep.
going again, and the Cowboys. I mean, they kind of had one of the more disappointing free agencies, right?
Yeah.
All they did is basically steal Eric Kendricks from the 49ers, right?
Yeah.
That
After
was
they
it.
thought
That was
Hendricks was
literally
going
it.
there. That was it. I mean, you got to give them a little bit of credit, but yeah, they haven't done jack. So Dallas,
Jerry,
I mean, you look
Jerry
at their
Jones was
needs:
sleeping.
running back, receiver, tackle, center, defensive line, linebacker, cornerback. Ouch. That's what, like
Everything.
6 needs? Yeah.
Full of
So
holes.
what are you thinking about
Just
cooking here?
so there's receivers on the board. I mean, there's AD Mitchell still available. There's Lad
Right?
McConkey. There's almost every receiver
Sure.
that's available in this area where the Dallas Cowboys could possibly go. They could also, take Kool-Aid McKinstry, a corner, but they can also go offensive line so they can protect their quarterback.
Right, because they just lost Tyron Smith.
They
So
did.
Mhm.
And based off mock drafts and different analysts that are around the Dallas Cowboys, the offensive line has been the most mocked position to the Dallas Cowboys uh in this area. And, with the deep wide receiver class, they could take that other receiver, later in the draft, in their later picks. And same thing with the corner, with the deep corner with that Washington tackle still on the board. The Dallas Cowboys select Troy Fontanu.
Yep,
Uh,
Fatanu. All right,
Wow.
good pick. He's a versatile player. He's played on, the left tackle, left guard. So, Connor, I believe you're up, right, for the Packers.
No, that's you, sir. I am
Oh, that's
behind
right.
you with the
Okay,
Buccaneers.
right. All right, I did my math wrong. All right, so I'm up again. After uh the Cowboys. So the Packers last year they selected um Lucas Van Ness, and
Who?
obviously Lucas Van Ness,
I have no idea who that is.
the pass rusher from Iowa.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, I do know who that is now.
Yeah.
I had to think.
And they still have shoot, who's their other edge rusher who's pretty good? Outside linebacker.
Sean Gray?
Is it Gary?
Rashawn Gary?
Yeah, Rashawn Gary.
Yeah,
They
Gary, that
still have
guy.
Gary, and Kenny Clark, but to me, I think they might need a little bit more on that D line. Possibly, I see safety's a need, but I think it's a little early to go safety. O line is a little bit of a need, but let's add some more to that defense because it seems like the defense was kind of lacking last year. I'm going to go Byron Murphy for the
All
Packers.
right.
Perfect.
All right. Okay.
Which leads us to the Bucks.
Fire the cannons. Here we go. We
Boom.
gotta we're gonna make a pick here, and oh boy, where do you even start with the Buccaneers? 9-8, but a team still full of holes. Like
Right. I mean, they
a lot
lost
of them on
Davis,
offense.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's
That sucks.
who was their best corner? They lost Barrett, who is their best pass rusher,
That
right?
sucks too. Yeah,
So
they have a lot of moves
I mean,
that
they
they
still
could
brought back Winfield, Evans, and Baker. So probably the three
yeah, thank
more,
God.
more important free agents. But
Mhm.
yeah, they gotta, hit on this draft pick for sure.
Oh, absolutely they do. Absolutely. Oh boy. Cue the music.
Oh.
With the 26th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Chop Robinson.
Oh,
Ooh, okay,
okay.
all right.
They need that. They lost Shaq Barrett, as you said earlier,
Right.
Paul. They need that edge help. And Chop Robinson is a guy I've seen mocked around here plenty of times.
So
He's been
that
mocked
puts
to the Bills several
Tennessee
times.
on the board again. Cue the music.
Oh, he already knows.
So after taking J.C. Latham with this other pick they acquired via trade, they're gonna go and add another lockdown corner opposite L'Jarius Sneed because there still are some great receivers in that division. So get a bookend opposite, your elite guy, and that puts Paul on the board for Chicago's second pick. And who are you thinking here, Paul?
This is an obvious choice with Caleb Williams going first. They traded out of their top 10 area. They give it to the Bills for Roman Dunze. Good for the Bills.
Yeah.
The wide
Cooking.
receiver need here is definitely the topmost priority for the Chicago Bears.
Sure.
And with one of my favorite wide receivers that goes in this range and that has been one of my favorites since the start of the draft process at 28, he's still there. He's on the screen.
Lad McConkey. Right? No, I'm kidding.
Oh God! Now you're gonna have Lauren coming
No,
in
I
here
didn't. I
yelling
didn't
at
even
you.
see him at the final one. No, it's
He's
Adonai
he's on the
Mitchell.
bottom.
Yeah, I know who you wanted. I just had to add
Yeah,
some
we all
drama to
did,
it.
but
So
we all
that
knew.
puts up pick 29, which I believe would be Connor,
Oh, it's me. Oh,
right?
I think it's me.
Yep,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
that should be me.
Lions for Dan
All right.
Campbell's Motor City Boys.
All
So
right. Let's
what could
see.
they add? I mean, they did lose Josh Reynolds in free agency.
Very
So
true.
You
Let's
get a
see.
Leggett or someone, to go with St. Brown, Laporta, and
You know what?
Gibbs, and even add even more firepower to that offense. Like, you could go
It's
in a couple different
possible right here.
directions. I
Yeah,
mean, I
there
guess
are a
maybe
few.
getting a corner after what happened with Cam Sutton may not be a bad
Uh,
idea.
yeah, I actually don't think who's the highest quarterback on the board right now?
TJ
TJ Tampa?
Tampa, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to go corner here. I think they could wait to do that. You know what? I'm about to blow your minds. Cue the music. With the 29th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Laitu Latu, edge out of UCLA,
Wow. To go
Oof.
opposite
to go opposite Aiden Hutchinson.
Aiden
That is a
Hutchinson, man,
Yeah.
that
disgusting
is,
defensive front.
yeah, you're right about that, which leads to Paul with the Ravens. O-line, edge, corner, receiver. I mean, they did lose, what was it, like 3/5 of their starting O-line between Kevin
Yeah.
Seitler, Morgan Moses, and John Simpson. So, I mean, that might be an area of need. I know they are picking up Andrew Voorhees, who was supposed to be like a second, third round prospect before he tore his ACL at the combine last year. So I mean, that will be some reinforcements, but they still could probably use a tackle and another guard. So you
Yeah.
could go a lot of different directions. I know they lost Beckham as well, or I mean he hasn't signed yet. So what are you thinking for Baltimore?
A lot of mocks around the Baltimore circles was Kool-Aid McKinstry. That
Mhm.
was that's the guy that they've, in Raven circles, that's the one that, they want. TJ Tampa is still on the board. I mean, I don't think
Mhm.
I think it's too early for a TJ Tampa. So that really winds down to offensive line and wide receiver at this point. You know, Lad
Yep.
McConkey's still there. I mean, Troy Franklin is still there. I mean, could they reach for maybe a guy like a Xavier Leggett? I don't think so. I think they're gonna have to protect Lamar Jackson. He's the
Sure.
prize
Mhm.
uh for the my goodness, I'm fumbling the name. The Baltimore Ravens. They're going to
Baltimore
have to
Ratbirds.
protect Lamar Jackson. So with the for the 30th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens selects. I can't pronounce his first name. We're going to go to the first guy that's there, Mims.
Amarius
Amarius
Mims.
Mims.
Yep. All right. Great pick. So that puts San Francisco up on the board.
That
And
should be you, right, Ben?
yep. And with how
Oh
their O
man,
line got
jeez,
waxed
go.
by KC in that Super Bowl, and I mean, arguably the game came down to Purdy not having time in the fourth quarter. So this pick is kind of obvious to me, even though they do need a corner, but they can wait as well, like Connor said, for the Lions. So
Mhm.
with the 31st pick, cue the music. The San Francisco The
I
San
was about to say, where's
Francisco
the music?
40 yeah, I was waiting. With the 31st, pick, the San Francisco 49ers select Tyler Guyton,
Oh,
tackle out of Oklahoma.
okay.
Get a
All
bookend
right.
opposite Trent Williams, and this leaves Connor. You're the Chiefs, I
Oh
believe, right?
man. Yes,
Take
I
a
am.
kicker here. Take a
Here
kicker.
we here we go. Yeah, let me totally take a kicker. All right.
Or
That
punter.
fade
I'm,
for
I'm
Michigan
taking Bo
Panthers. He's
next.
on the board.
But anyway, wouldn't it feel good to be a champion? The
Uh,
Chiefs can basically do whatever they want, it feels, because you have
right.
Patrick Mahomes. You don't need to worry about drafting anymore. But here is what is going to happen. You've been waiting
Okay.
all night for me to make a pick like this.
Oh
Cue the
boy.
music. With the 32nd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs select Lad McConkey, wide receiver out of Georgia.
I
Wow.
hate it to be like that, though. Give him a
Yeah.
guy like Lad McConkey just to do anything they want.
That is quite the draft.
Yeah.
What do you
let's be
guys think is the biggest surprise of the draft? Of
fact.
this one?
Well, I'm happy the Bills got Romo Dudze, but put the bias aside for a minute. Let's see what we got here. Out of all of it, I don't know. This looks like a solid draft. To be honest, though, I'm amazed Jared Verse fell all the way to 16. Like, I really am.
Yeah.
I feel like Jared Verse could go a lot higher. I've seen him go in the top 10 in some of these drafts. So I feel like, he maybe could go. I mean, I've seen the Jets take him at 10.
Right.
I think Joe Alt falling to 10 is a disaster.
Right.
Like, absolute disaster. And it's a great thing for the Jets, but for all of us sitting here, you just, bad taste. Bad taste in all our mouths, I know. I think this is also the highest on draft boards I've seen Cooper DeJean go. Out of everything I've seen, this is the highest I've ever seen him go.
Yeah, it's kind of high. I think if this is how the board could potentially fall, that it either comes to Cooper DeJean, a cornerback, maybe an offensive lineman, or they just ultimately just decide to trade down and go for Bo Nix, or Michael Penix Jr. But Michael Penix Jr. went, to the Raiders, and in that case, it would be a Bo Nix later in the draft.
So this is actually a nice segue for what I want to discuss on Connor's takes for Wednesday, and that is underrated players in late rounds. If you think about it, the Raiders are one of the teams that realistically might be able to wait a little bit, maybe fourth, fifth for a quarterback. And
we'll see, but they kind of, I mean, we looked at that room earlier. It's
I know
kind
it's
of
bad.
barren.
It's bad, but you have a shot. And Ben, you know where I'm going with it. You wait all the way and you draft Jordan Travis.
I
in
thought
the
you were gonna
fourth
go
round.
Talia.
No. I mean, no. That's a 7th round project for literally anyone, even the Raiders. You
Well,
draft
not
Jordan
both.
Travis.
You draft Jordan Travis and Talia. Compete.
Oh my God.
Open competition.
Terrible
It's just
quarterback
nuke
room.
the entire quarterback room because it's terrible to begin with.
That's what I'm saying though. You draft Jordan Travis with your 4th round selection.
And then
you
you
have
take
Jordan
Talia with your
Travis.
7th.
Ben.
Open competition.
I mean, yeah, you
It
do
really
have an
makes
open.
a good three quarterback battle with O'Connell, Travis, and Tagovailoa. Makes it fun.
And Minshew. Don't forget about Minshew. In that competition, let's say the loser has to be expelled to a deserted island. I think that's like a good outcome.
Yep.
And
that could be like this edition of Hard Knocks. It could be about like inside the Raiders quarterback competition and Gardner Minshew's life on a deserted island off the Pacific coast.
When you think about Hard Knocks, that's a perfect Hard Knocks series. Honestly, the Las Vegas Raiders.
But at the same time, Jordan Travis is winning that quarterback battle, and the AFC is going to have another very, very good quarterback to worry about. And we all know it. And I'll discuss it more on Wednesday, especially when my article on Jordan Travis comes out pretty soon. I already wrote one on Johnny Wilson, which more on him on Wednesday as well. But as for tonight, that will wrap up the show. Thank you all for watching us do this mock draft and slug through these picks. Thank you, everybody, for watching me pick stupidly, because the Chiefs are not going to take Lad McConkey at 32. I just took Lad McConkey just because I felt like it. But that is a wrap on the show. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter, all of the music platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, the like. Subscribe on YouTube, and don't forget about our giveaway. As a matter of
Yeah,
fact, if the
you can win
giveaway
a
had
Roma Dunze jersey.
that would have been a Romo Dunze jersey we would have been giving away. So don't forget about that. Make sure you follow us on YouTube, retweet our tweet on Twitter, and in all that time, stay tuned for Connor's takes on Wednesday. I will be here. I will be giving spicy takes. I will be going a little bit further into the draft than we went tonight
Yeah.
for multiple teams, mostly discussing multiple players and a pick and a trade that I believe the Bills need to make. But with that, go Bills.
Go Bills.
Yeah, go.